Hi there, everyone. Welcome to the CNFT.Tools Discord server. My name is ToolSin, and I am joined by the Unbounded Earth team. So we have quite the showing from them, and if they'd like to introduce themselves, we can start flying through the meta galaxy.
Excellent. Well, hi guys, I'm Shane. I am the CEO and founder of the project. Great to be here. Thanks for inviting us, man. I really appreciate it, and welcome everybody to the AMA.
All right, I'm Johnny Tran. I'm the marketing lead and video editing for Unbounded Earth. Welcome, everybody.
And my name's Sterling. I also go by X or Zepperu. I'm the Chief Product Officer overseeing development of our quaint little meta galaxy. Appreciate y'all coming out and having me.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite great to have you guys, actually. I'm not somebody that's followed the different metaverse projects so much as others, so I'll have a bit more of a fresh mind looking at things, which should be interesting.
100%. And I think we might even give a little bit of education around the word metaverse versus metagalaxy. I think Sterling enjoys a little bit of that. So
That sounds like it might be well needed then.
excellent.
Right, so let's kind of like start with the beginning. Sort of like, how long has the Unbounded Earth project been running?
All right, great question. So I'll kick it off from the very beginning. So the very start of it was in October, just myself. And then I formulated a couple of people together to kind of help me get it off the ground. We kind of launched everything very early November, and by everything I mean like the Discord and the website. We then basically just did a load of social media networking, kind of built up the community, and started the first land sale on December 16th with the anticipation that we wouldn't sell out. Which might sound kind of funny, different strategy compared to what you see in the CNFT market.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
but the reason for that was, I didn't want to be a typical project. I didn't want to be, necessarily hype based. I wanted to be more realistic with the approach. So by not planning to sell out, you honor the people that are already there, give them the chance to get the plots that they want to get. There's nothing worse than being part of a project for a long time and then selling out without getting a chance.
For sure.
Talking from experience, but also just for the organic growth. I wanted to try something different that was very opposite to the general just CNFT style of everything. And then we were, unexpectedly. Well, that actually happened. Well, we were probably going for about a month of minting at that point. So we're talking now mid-January, mid to late January. DZ did a video on us, and we had this really massive, unexpected amount of traffic coming in. We ended up selling out. It was utter chaos. Like I said, we were prepping a long plan, not a short sellout. So we were really understaffed, really under resourced, totally just reacting to chaos and so many new people, not enough mods to keep up with the conversation. So many questions like, where's this, where's that, where's this? And it was just like, we're not there yet. This is such a new project. So after we managed to put out the fires, we just knuckled down, put the heads down, got some new team on board, restructured a little bit, really started working on a team that's gelling well together now. A lot of the initial members actually came from the community, which is great. We had a really good period actually, early on where people were volunteering and helping out, and it's really just that organic growth that we were hoping for, which was just really amazing to see. Just
Nice.
people from the community, loads of talented people coming together, and just helping us kind of bring this vision to life. And yeah, really, we've just kind of been taking, honestly, just loads of steps back to go many steps forward. Like I said, because a lot of it was reactionary. We had to do a lot of reevaluating. We wanted to do the Cardano way, measure twice, cut once. We've really tried to pull things back, take a strategic approach, and we're really just starting to come out of that now, to be honest, which is great because now we've put loads of kind of foundational stuff in place. It's enabling us to just hit the ground running without hitting so many roadblocks all the time. There's nothing worse than like, oh, we've got this great idea, we're starting to implement, boom, roadblock. We can't do this because we haven't done this yet. And we're finally getting on the other side of that now. which has kind of been frustrating from our point. Obviously, we've had so many people in the Discord asking for updates, rightly so. They want to keep up to date with the project.
Yeah.
There's so many people enthusiastic. We love it. But it's like, yeah, we're frustrated too. We've got so many cool things that we want to release, but there's so many other stuff that needs to happen first.
Yeah,
So yeah, we're
totally
really
that.
starting to get on the other side of that. So yeah, really by the end of this month, we're going to be picking up some serious steam. Maybe Sterling and Johnny will talk about some of the stuff specific to their department coming up. But yeah, the rest is just kind of history, I guess. Just keeping our
Nice.
heads down. We know this takes time. Like, we're appreciative that people are patient, and yeah, like I said, we just want to think things through. We're doing something that's actually, and again, I'll probably let Sterling talk a little bit more on this, but we're actually doing something really groundbreaking, and we didn't really quite realize how groundbreaking it was until we started getting into the development. And by that I mean the voxel styling that we're trying to achieve is actually very performance intensive.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of people on here know about like poly counts and triangles and that sort of thing when it comes to a design perspective. But yeah, high kind of poly voxel, good detail is very high on the triangle counts, which is
Yeah.
not great for performance. So we've had to make a few compromises. There's actually not a lot of technology and systems in place to handle a lot of that. So we've had to make a few compromises. We've had to kind of be a lot more innovative. Our lead dev Joshua did some really crazy stuff. Yeah, really cool actually.
Nice.
Maybe we'll get into some of it later, but it's to do with voxel meshing and basically rendering the voxel on the fly so that the assets themselves are non-voxel poly, like mid to high poly, but non-voxel, and then rendering the voxel like as a shader.
Yeah.
So really clever stuff. But yeah, so we've really just been focusing because there's nothing going to be worse than us releasing something really premium quality that runs at 2 frames per second.
Yeah,
And then obviously
that's
then
not
we
going
have
to
to
help.
pull everything back and be like, okay, guys, this ain't working. There's a million bugs,
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of that, but it's been a really good journey so far, and we're really just kind of glad to be on the journey together. The team is super solid now, so yeah, I know that's probably a long-winded answer to your question, but I thought I'd give you a little bit of the background on
Yeah.
where we're at now.
So
Yeah, and just to add,
just to,
oh, you go ahead.
oh yeah, sorry. I just wanted to interject slightly, because obviously we know how YouTube watches are. I was just wondering if I could get like a quick 30-second run, quick 30-second advert for the project and what you're hoping to achieve, and
Oh,
then maybe some of the mint details so people get that
okay, okay.
before
Let
you have to
me put
become
a
ultra
stopwatch on.
dedicated.
I'm gonna give myself a 30-second timer on my phone here. Right,
And
try
I'm
jump in.
I
gonna
know
do
it's
a
going to be
list.
difficult, but it's
Right, I'll try not to talk too fast as well. Try not to speed runners. Okay, ready?
I
Here you
won't penalise
go.
you too much if you go over.
Okay, right, I'm here and going now. All right, so basically our project is a Cardano Meta Galaxy. We're really hoping to bring the Metaverse vision to life and be part of that. That's not here yet, but it will be. The technology is coming. In fact, maybe it's even here, or elements of it are here, but there needs to be that mass adoption. There's a lot that we're trying to achieve in a short space of time, but to give you the key concepts that we're aiming for, we've got move to earn, play to earn, own to earn, and learn to earn. Those are our key concepts. Man, I'm at 30 seconds already. What?
Okay,
How
yeah.
do people do 30-second pitches?
Take a minute then.
Okay. So those are our 4 key concepts. Really the play to earn and the own to earn are very much kind of the idea that you think of when you come to the metaverse, from your owning your digital land and managing that and building an economy. But 2 other ones that are really important to us from a value standpoint is the move to earn and the learn to earn. I've always been a very big advocate personally for just educating people in the crypto space. I really actually don't like people blind investing. I think it's crazy. Props to those that do it. You got bigger balls than I have, but I can't do that. I like to do my research, and I like to help people have the utilities to do their research. And then the move to earn is really just kind of the idea, and it came from, and I'm going to tell the story even though it takes us over a minute, but I've told the story in our AMA, so it feels appropriate. But my wife's sister was having a massive rant about all this metaverse stuff that Facebook was doing, and she was like, "Oh, this is ridiculous. People are just going to get stuck indoors all day. They're going to escape the reality of the world."
Ready Player One.
And Yeah, and it was like she didn't realize what I was doing at the time, and it was really funny because I was just kind of sat there letting her have her rant, and I kind of told her afterwards, and she was like, "Oh no, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to like say that about what you were doing." And I was like, "No, no, no. It's actually really good." Because when she said it, I was like, "Well, that is a problem. That's a valid concern. You know, people
Yeah.
would, and it happens with games nowadays, right? You get sucked in,
Yeah.
they're addictive. You know, it takes you away from responsibilities and that sort of thing." So I was like, actually, that's a really valid point. I mean, I know she was having a rant, but underlying in that was a totally
Yeah.
valid
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. For sure.
So then I was thinking about that, and I was like, well, what's the incentive? What's gonna keep someone invested in the game, but also, get them outdoors? And that's really where the move to earn came from. It's as simple as that, just the idea of incentivizing movement outdoors and physical exercise by, incentivizing and rewarding in game. Um,
Nice.
and, hopefully that, when implemented, is a very good balance and it works to the vision that we're hoping. Things are unpredictable, but that's the plan. And yeah, hopefully it just brings a better ecosystem and much more of a realistic approach, because obviously Metaverse is that virtual reality world, but kind of tying it into the real world as well. I just think is key. So yeah, I mean I could tell you so much more about the project, but I'm well over my minute, so I think I'll stop there.
Fair enough. And you have a mint coming up fairly soon, right?
Yeah, we haven't picked the date yet because we were actually planning something to do with some other projects. I can't really say too much, but we kind of wanted to link a few things together. That's the plan. Things are pretty much there and ready to go. But yeah, we wanted to kind of plan something special. We're just kind of working that out at the moment. So it's probably going to be end of August, early September. And that's
I mean,
our
that's still
Greco-Roman
pretty soon, to be
weapons
fair.
collection. Yeah, it is. Like I said, it's all ready to go. All the designs have been submitted. How much can I say? We've
You can
got some
say
really
as
new
much
things
as you
coming.
like,
I
and
know,
maybe a little
you would
bit
love
more.
that. Yeah, we've got some really new stuff coming, some really tangible stuff too. Actually, little spoilers, I guess. I'm not going to say too much. Keep it a secret. And yeah, I think it's going to be exciting. It's the collection that we've gone for this time is a Greco-Roman weapons collection. So
Yes.
very much inspired by Greek and Roman architecture and weaponry and history. And it's come out really well. We're really, really happy with how it's come out. Our designers have done a fantastic job. But it's also been beneficial to us because it's helping us, when we do these collections, we're not just doing the art for them, but we're actually deving the game stuff to go with it.
Yeah.
So obviously, when you think of weapons, what do you think when you come to weapons? You think of PvP or PvE or battle royale or whatever it might be, right?
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
what weapons are associated to. So those are elements of the game that we are deving alongside to go with those weapons. We don't just want weapons that aren't doing anything. And maybe I've already said too much, but who knows? So we've really kind of made a lot of progress with this collection behind closed doors. So we're really hoping and looking forward to launching a lot of this.
Very nice. I did also have a look at your website. It's been showing for you on YouTube for a bit. It does say that you have alpha access NFTs minting right now.
We do, yes. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. So we do have Alpha Access Pass minting. They've been minting for a little while now. We have loads of incentives and benefits for those. They're 150 ADA, which may sound steep, but the ROI on them is kind of ridiculous. So they'll give you a discount on the Greco-Roman's weapons collection, and this information has been released already, so I can say the minting price for those will be 15 ADA for first 3 days and 20 ADA after the fact for everyone. And then for Alpha Pass holders, it will be 10 ADA and 15 ADA after the 3 days. So basically, 33% discount for Alpha Access holders. But also, it gives early access to the game, which we are tentatively planning for end of this year.
Oh.
And
Oh,
different
sorry. Yeah, like
rarities
that's
of
that's the
the
first time I've heard that. So that's really
yeah.
quite
So
interesting.
yeah, that's the goal. We think it will probably be a fairly closed alpha in the sense of the content. We've decided because there's so much that we want to do, we're not going to be able to release it all in one go. So we'll probably
Yeah.
focus on a few sub elements. get a good amount of content for those and release that as an alpha. But either way, the alpha access cards, depending on the rarity, will give you different amounts of weeks of early access. So ranging from 2, 4, 6, and 8 weeks for the 4 tiers. Diamond being the best tier, and Ruby being I'm not going to say the worst tier because it's not, but the
Yeah.
the least best tier.
The most common.
And then the most common, yes, absolutely. And then yeah, there's so much more. You can read up on it. I won't spoil it all. But it's going to be one of those cards that, because there's only 5,000 of them in total, we're aiming for a big user base. So when we get to that 1 million stage, they're really going to be limited in number. And we are really just going to hammer out the benefits for them. Whether that be in-game content, quests, access just to free items for holding them, airdrops, more discounts, just so much stuff. We're just going to basically throw stuff at it, because they're such a high utility NFT, and basically anything we do, we're going to think, okay, well, what's in it for the alpha access holders?
Nice.
So it's
So
going to
it's
be a
like
really high utility
your
card.
OG item with a whole bunch of benefits going way beyond, even this mint, the next mint, and the mint after.
Yeah, you've got it. Nail on the head. But we actually, it's funny, we made a mistake on the policy ID. For the 20th of August this year, it's supposed to be 20th of August next year.
Oh, that's awkward.
It's a really annoying mistake to have made. So what we did was we ended up just minting them all now. So if you tried to mint it on the website, it will say you're unable to. So reach out in the Discord if you're trying. But we are just putting a new minting system in place for that. So that was something we annoyingly had to fix. But those things happen.
Yeah.
So that's ongoing. And yeah, by all means check it out. Like I said, I think we even have a Medium article on it if you want to read more details. If not, jump in the Discord and have a chat. We're open, willing to answer any questions, obviously.
Most definitely.
And
if anyone here has any questions, I was just going to say, if anyone here has any questions, fire them into NFT chat. I'm watching there, and I'll make sure that the team get a chance to reply to any questions.
Okay, cool. Go on, Star.
Just for the record, on the alpha access mint, the new mint process, once we have it all set up, it will still be a random mint. You'll just be pulling it with a random generator from a wallet directly from us instead of minting it. So it'll already be minted, but still random selection.
Nice.
And I will just add as well, because Sterling has allowed us to say this, one of the aspects that we will be releasing is something called Gladiator Royale. So again, very Greco-Roman inspired. Not everything in the metaverse will be that, but that is our core inspiration. That's where the roots are, and that's what we're going to try achieve. And you'll actually see an element of that potentially when we launch the NFT collection. So yeah, it's really exciting stuff.
Sweet.
Potentially,
yeah. We're working out some kinks, but potentially.
So, how many people do you have on the team for all this then?
Oh, what is the team count now? I'm going to say tentatively 15 or 16. I keep forgetting. Maybe I think it's 15, but including me 16. But I keep getting it wrong because I have a terrible memory.
So yeah, you've got a sizable amount of people, and everyone's working on this full time.
No, we have a couple of part-time people, just because of their own personal commitments, but I think the majority are full-time. I have to look it up, but yeah, majority are full-time. But we have a couple of part-time people helping out, like mods and that sort of thing. But yeah.
Can you bring up Blockchain? He is our finance officer, and then also Crex. He is our social media manager.
Blockchain
We're representing today.
And
Crex.
There we go.
Yeah. And one of the proudest moments for us would be, with the amount of so far in the CMT space, we generate about 1.1 million solely on JPEG, and then also out of 39,000 land, only 3% listed on the market, which is a huge accomplishment.
Low. That's a really low amount of people trying to sell there then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so very low. And then And then also our map update, you know, with where currently right now you're able to go in and look at your plots and find out the locations at right now. But soon, once we're getting ready, you'll be able to connect your wallet on a website, and then also you're able to upload images to estates and single individual plots as well. So that's something that's big for us, and we're excited for that, and the community is extremely excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot we've got to get into, right? So tell me a little bit about how people are going to be going about building on their plots.
That's a pretty broad question, in my opinion. Have you got something specific in mind, or do you want us to answer broadly?
If let's say somebody wants to, to build their house or castle or
Mhm.
abode or something like that, how are they going to be going about doing that?
I can take that if you like, Shane.
Yeah, go for it. I've spoken enough.
So we're one of the key elements of our early product launch is going to be a voxel builder, right? Um, so this voxel builder, which is created by our voxel engine. So, well, I'll backtrack just a little bit. We're developing the game in Unity. We're having to customize the engine to render voxels the way we want. So our rendering pipeline is currently under construction. And as we finish that up, we're getting into this voxel builder element. All of this is like the best place for the record to keep up with dev updates is our Twitch channel, which Justin Crex over here manages. Um, I believe that's just twitch.tv/Unbounded Earth. So definitely check out our live streams for more dev updates. But the voxel builder will also be an importer, right? So something that we're doing with our NFTs at Unbounded Earth, because it's important to us that not just our metaverse, but also the assets that we create for our meta galaxy, excuse me, for our meta galaxy are interoperable throughout the broader metaverse, right? So when we mint an NFT item, I think we're about finished on our standard. This next collection that we mint, the weapons collection, it's going to have 4 different types of files attached to it. And one of those is going to be a 3D GLB file, and another is going to be a complete Unity asset package that includes the animations, projectiles, emissions, all of that stuff, so that if you're going into another Unity-based meta-galaxy, all you have to do to make our asset function in there is load up assuming that this meta-galaxy is as interoperable and ready to take on user-based files, which if people are supposed to be developing on their land, they should be ready for that. Then that's all you need. You need the NFT and the files that you need are attached to it. So same, if you were to come to Unbounded Earth with a 3D asset from another metaverse, it's a little bit trickier. It's actually like a little less complicated to take our voxel assets and load them into a smoother universe than it is to take a smooth asset and load it into our voxel universe, right? Our engine. So part of the voxel builder is basically a converter that will take 3D assets and mesh them. If you understand what meshing is in 3D design, and kind of like Shane was saying earlier with the shaders, it's a whole algorithm that'll take your asset and basically voxelize it. So then within the builder, you can, if there's rough edges or whatever, you want to polish this or that, you can tweak it a little bit in the custom builder, or you can build stuff from scratch, Minecraft style, that won't necessarily be NFT objects, but it'll be yours on your property and you made it. We want to target a range of different types of users. So we want to make sure that developers feel empowered to come experiment on land, even if they're not like big into NFT people, right? That gamers can play for free without having to go through all of the NFT motions and all the wallet motions and all that.
Nice.
But should they start winning stuff, they may be incentivized to actually claim it with the simple NAMI wallet setup. So yeah, we want to use this this meta galaxy as an opportunity to onboard like the broader tech community into the space. And yeah, all of that comes down to interoperability, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
loaded question, but that's the quickest summary I can give, really.
So, I have heard of some of the discussions that have been going on between sort of like different Cardano metaverses about ensuring as much as possible interoperability between different products. Sort of like how are they finished now and everything's all good and everyone's hunky dory with each other, or is there still things to work out with some issues here and
I
there?
mean, the short answer to that is we'll be working things out for a long time.
Forever. I mean, it's always going to be evolving. I would say that the best efforts taking place in that realm right now on a community level are happening at Intermeta, at least to my knowledge. Intermeta is another NFT funded metaverse project. They are not making a meta galaxy, they're making an interoperability platform. They would call it intermetability, and I adore their lingo and branding. It's great. Um, but yeah, they're actually starting to discuss and roll out some of their products, which of course is also like getting the communication on the right page is a challenge, right? Because we've all got our own things going. We're all super busy. So yeah, Intermeta is totally doing that work. As far as like project to project, I personally would like to see more metaverse aspiring gaming projects uh, giving their users autonomy and access to their 3D assets, right? And being a little bit more thoughtful about just including base assets. I think that's where it starts, really. But yeah, the standards will be set over time, or perhaps Intermeta will come up with a perfect solution off the bat. Not,
Well,
you know, that's all order, but they're doing really good work. So yeah.
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's quite the challenge, especially with the number of Meta Galaxy Metaverse projects that that have been in development for various amounts of time. Sort of like for a while, it's kind of been a catchphrase that the word metaverse, as so many projects are mentioning it, but obviously a lot of those projects don't have the the same funding and commitment that you guys have shown at this point.
Well, yeah, and there's definitely projects out there with different levels of funding and different levels of community backing, and a lot of different approaches being taken right now, and that's kind of the exciting thing about it, right? Like, I mean, not financial advice, but it typically seems wise in any industry when you're making investments to keep your portfolio diverse, and yeah, there's just a lot of different stuff going on. Some of it's going to stick, some of it's going to blow up, some of it might fizzle out. Um, but we're doing the work. We're
Yeah, for
experimenting and we're
sure.
pushing this technology forward. So really, it's all exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, I mean, it's a big wide world out there.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wanted to get into that discussion a little bit about the difference between Meta Galaxy and Metaverse, as as you guys have used it a couple of times fairly interchangeably as well.
This is literally
Yeah,
Sterling's favorite thing to talk about right now.
it's my shtick right now. Yeah,
Do you want to give a little
and every time
background on it as well, Sterling?
a little what?
A bit of background where it came.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, no, I'm saying you can. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Give a bit of
yeah.
background.
Yeah, for sure. There are a lot of things that you can call these projects that are rising up on blockchains, and I think that metaverse industry is a fair category to put them all in. But to call any one of them a metaverse is probably not entirely accurate. Um, I used to have arguments in Twitter Spaces about the difference between a metaverse and the metaverse or plural metaverses. And while I do still think there's an argument to be had there, It's much deeper than I kind of originally thought it was. And we get into like serious centralization versus decentralization talks there.
Yeah.
But one word that has been used in the tech industry, or one phrase rather, for some time now is virtual world platforms, which is kind of a mouthful. So recently, what, 3 weeks ago, Matthew Ball published a book called The Metaverse and How It Will Change Everything. And this is a really eye-opening read for crypto metaverse investors in particular, I think, because while I do genuinely believe that we have some of the best potential to push this technology forward and keep it, on a level playing field for the people, we're a much smaller part of the technology than we realize or might like to admit here on blockchain. And it's not just like it's super significant. Don't get me wrong there, but the metaverse is more akin to the internet. So Matthew Ball in this book, The Metaverse and How It Will Change Everything, refers to these virtual land platforms as meta galaxies. So consider the internet. The internet is governed by a protocol that was established decades ago, and it was being worked on by a wide range of people all over the world. Scientists, engineers, government agencies were involved. Hackers, all kinds of people were collaborating on this protocol. And in the end, when it finally came time to like actually roll it out on a level that could be mass adopted, they sort of made this collective decision to keep the internet decentralized. And if they didn't do that, we would have wound up with internets, plural, right?
Yeah.
And you might have
which we still
gotten,
kind of have with China, to be fair.
Well, any government, yes, and ISP, but this isn't. But not really. We have one World Wide Web, and then there are all these geographical or local filters that might be in place, right? But there's always a way around it and back to the source, as opposed to a world where individual communications providers were delivering it directly to your house on their lines, and to log into it, you needed to be on their computers using their browsers and going to websites that they approved or that had deals, with them, like any advertiser, which would have made these companies a lot more money, but would have kept the internet. Well, it wouldn't have opened up as much opportunity for success for individual people, and we wouldn't have seen as much innovation as we did from the platform overall. At least that's my thoughts on the matter. So because competition really fuels innovation, we all know that. So yeah, the true metaverse, as Shane said earlier, the technology to render something like this does exist, totally exists right now. It's crazy expensive, takes up a lot of space, and not many people have a reason to own that kind of computing power. But imagine an internet where you were using some sort of augmented reality interface or virtual reality interface, and instead of using a web browser on a screen to go to websites, it's all just a fully immersive 3D interface. You're literally going through doors or great question, Dark Alexander. Well, that's not for this space, though. Are the bots conspiring against us?
The short answer to the question, I'll say it for YouTube, are the bots conspiring against us? The short answer is yes.
Yeah, and also conspiring with us, though. But anyway, the true metaverse would be more like an internet browser, from which, in a centralized world, like say Ready Player One, where the Oasis is the metaverse, or even the street from Snow Crash, kind of the one metaverse. In a centralized world, it would be one platform that everything probably kind of revolves around this central place, whereas in a decentralized platform, you would see this branching off into several different meta galaxies. So you may go through a portal to the Unbounded Earth meta galaxy, which may be full of all kinds of different games and things going on, marketplaces, and gamified experiences, shopified experiences, all of the above in a meta galaxy. It's our own ecosystem, right? For now, what we're kind of starting on the gaming side. We're all using gaming engines and gaming technology and gamification, game theory, and all of that jazz to make cool products. But where we're going is undoubtedly the metaverse. So the success of independent blockchain products, blockchain metagalaxies, in my humble opinion, is kind of our best chance as a society from keeping the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world from completely centralizing what is inevitably the next wave in communications technology, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just important that we do this, it's important that we collaborate, it's important that we support and uplift the community and encourage competition and drive innovation.
No, that's I agree with a lot of what you said. Little side question: how old are you?
Me, I'm 34.
Okay. So, sort of like you seem like someone that was around sort of like at the sort of like same time as I was. I'm like 43.
Ah, did I
Um,
thought you were setting him up to call him old? I was so excited.
Well, my brother is your age, and he kind of raised me on classical sci-fi, and he's been in the tech industry in Silicon Valley, and yeah, I've
Nice.
been I was well connected on all this stuff as a kid. Truth be told, I read Snow Crash in middle school, and I've been basically wanting to do exactly this ever since.
Yeah, it's just like the reason why I ask is that you have a slightly older view. Sort of like that's closer, sort of like the 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 nexus of people that were born around the same time as me, where we grew up without the internet, but then sort of like, we got
Mhm.
to sort of like, 17, 18, 19, which was when the internet actually started being rolled out. So, we've seen we've seen before, and we've seen the development, and obviously where we are now, and what we've got coming in the future.
Yeah, I would say I was an early internet adopter at like age 10 or maybe 8 or 9 in like
Yeah, yeah.
95, 96. Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, it's like I got my first mobile phone when I was like 19, because they
Yeah.
were just prohibitively expensive before then.
Yeah. Yep. I've seen some things. I've seen technology change in my lifetime for sure. But I've been hyper aware of it. Like tech's been crucial to me since I was a kid. I've always kept up with gaming news and technology news and all that stuff. I'm a nerd.
So, speaking about some of the gaming stuff, I'm not quite sure how much you're going to be able to say, but I'm going to press you for it anyway. Obviously, like Greco-Roman weapons coming into play and everything like that. You hinted at some gameplay around that. Are we going to expect some kind of like MMO experience, perhaps?
I am happy to say yes to that.
That you see that.
Yeah, that's just one. It's one facet of metaverse existence. But
Yeah,
yeah, totally.
there's going to be many avenues in our game because we appreciate that our audience is going to consist of investors and gamers. Um, so the aim is to have those as the two overarching avenues. Um, so I'm trying to just be careful with what I say.
Well, I think we can say if you're talking about the difference between like PvP versus PvE, we intend to incorporate all of that type of
Yeah.
gameplay as time goes.
Nice.
From a monetization stance, our priority is PvP.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So on a slightly different tack, what kind of hardware are people going to be able to need to how much, what type of are they going to need to be able to have full enjoyment of Unbounded Earth?
Yeah, great question. I'm just going to jump in before Sterling does because it will link back to something I was mentioned earlier about compromising. Because of the style we were going for, that's why I explained that we needed to compromise on the level and detail of the voxel.
Yeah.
because no one's PCs, phones, consoles, nothing was going to run it. Unless it was very high end, couple of grand plus.
Yeah.
So just with that in mind, Sterling.
We're targeting PC builds first. Like I said, we're developing in Unity, so Unity has some really interesting web options that we're exploring. We've seen some other cool stuff happening in the Cardano ecosystem on that level. But our first target is a downloadable PC app. Ultimately, we obviously want to target as many systems as we can, right? But something that's important to us as we start with PC is as Shane was saying, compatibility. So
Yeah.
we don't want people, especially like a big risk factor in this whole industry. Honestly, is sort of people who have aped in to an NFT investment without understanding the full scope of the product.
Yeah.
And things like Metaverse land investments are active investments that you should be ready to develop on, and not passive investments that you should just be looking to flip. That's not where the money's going to be. That's not the wise investor move.
Yeah.
And a metaverse full of meta galaxies with nothing but empty land that investors don't know what to do with is not going to make anybody money. They're all going to fail if that happens. Yeah, we don't want people to then basically constantly be realizing, as any PC gamer does go through this, to be fair, but we're not necessarily talking about PC gamers. We don't want them to constantly be realizing that they have to spend another $500 and another $1,000, and I'm going to need more RAM and all that. So we're targeting basically a $500 to $1,000 PC experience.
Okay,
so
what? Like a NVIDIA 10 series plus, or maybe 9 series plus, like 900 series.
I feel like 10's probably. I feel like, yeah. Hopefully we can get something a little under 10. Yeah.
I've got a 970, so I was really hopeful when I was saying the 900 series.
I would say hopefully 700, 900 is fine. Obviously you're going to get a better experience.
Yeah, for sure.
With the better graphics, no matter what. But we are targeting 60 FPS. So we're prioritizing, especially for PvP, we're prioritizing good frame rate. I think we're targeting 60 FPS for PvP, which will be in an instance sort of battle arena, and 30 FPS for open world exploration. We're less concerned about resolution than we are about performance. But that said, the whole style is artsy, and the voxels require resources no matter what. So yeah, it's all about. It's really hard to say at the time.
But Sterling's favorite phrase is to get it on the Switch.
I mean that's perfect. That's a great sort of aim to have for sure.
Yeah. Every time we develop something, it's like, this could look so good on the Switch.
Don't forget you've got Steam Deck as well now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I would personally consider Steam Deck a prohibitively expensive console on its own. And then you've got next gen consoles, sure, $500 in theory. It's a fine target, but in reality, people are still paying over $1,000 for them to scalpers and stuff. So,
I mean, the PC market's starting to free up. The second, most graphics cards now can, with a little bit of effort, can be found for fairly close to recommended RRP, whatever you call it.
MSRP.
MSRP, that's it. My brain's a little tired today. I've been training at a new job, so. But yeah, so will there be a VR experience with it, with full headset and everything?
100%.
That's the goal. Yeah. Maybe not in the very first alpha build, but yeah, that's. We think that VR is kind of a key part of this emerging metaverse technology. It's important to be targeting that.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously a lot of extra development on top of like a standard PC game. Um, how soon do
Yeah,
you
it's actually
think?
not as crazy as you might think.
Oh, okay.
It's getting easier to make a good VR experience from a non VR game. But yeah, it is definitely it is definitely work, and we're trying to be lean, right? So we want to be rolling out our products as quickly as possible and iterating and upgrading, which is why we're going with the alpha to open beta model for starters.
So when do you think you'll be able to announce like a firm date for public alpha testing or beta testing?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like
I'm just thinking whether
it's the Cardano way. You have to announce the announcement, right?
I know. I
I'm not
mean,
asking for a firm date, but are we talking sort of like
I tell you what,
December-ish or?
just for you, and maybe this will open up a can of worms. Who knows? But just for you, I will tell you our internal aim date, but that is not a guarantee that that is what
Yeah,
we will
yeah,
hit.
yeah, definitely.
It's all going to depend on the progress we make, and on the basis that we can make the compromises to get a deliverable. But we are aiming internally for the 23rd of December. That is
Nice.
our
That
goal.
if
Just
it
before
if it can
Christmas, almost like a
happen, it will
present.
be a present for everybody. That's for sure.
That is the plan. But that is
Holiday
by no means,
2022.
yeah, no means in stone, but that is what we are working hard to achieve.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot
It's
of
the obligatory game
upset
studio
wives
target.
and husbands when
Yeah.
their family members go off like, no, I've got to do this now. Come on, eat up. I've got to go on the PC.
Yeah. There was nothing worse. I remember as a kid, like whenever I had my Xbox or my PlayStation, like getting a game for Christmas because they knew that as soon as I opened that, I was gone. I don't care about the rest of the presents. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go play that game.
absolutely.
The
So
last, yeah.
yeah.
So, what kind of games have you guys played in the past? Like,
Oh wow, that's actually a
what's
really
been your
interesting question
inspiration?
because yeah, across the team, we've actually played a ridiculously widespread amount of games.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually a worry for me that like all the people we were hiring were going to end up having played very similar kind of background. Um, but actually, it's it's probably the opposite. So like me and Matt, the lead game artist, we have a very similar play style in terms of the games we pick. Sterling and I'd probably say Crex, who's on with us, Justin, have a similar. Tony's played very different games to all of us. I think even Johnny's played different games. Adrian, who's our ops manager, is actually more of a he's not interested in PvP gaming at all. Like he's
So
like
yeah, I
super
mean,
like casual gaming.
I am hoping you're gonna like drop some actual names of games here.
Yeah. I was just yeah. So like for me, like I'm a big MMO fan, and like things like I even still play RuneScape, not the new
Nice.
one, classic RuneScape.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, when I get time, I play with my friends. We do like Warzone, Rocket League, some of the competitive games. When I was younger, I played lots of games like Skyrim. Um, I also enjoy playing just idle games. Like they're the kind of things I'd play on my phone if I'm out and about. Um, One that I play when I'm traveling now is called Legends of Eidolon. I really actually went for a weird phase of clicker games for some reason. I was just absolutely hooked on just clicking the same thing over and over again and ranking up. Um, yeah, go on, Sterling. I'll let you jump in as well, and then maybe we'll reach Justin, Tony, and Johnny. See what games everyone's playing.
Yeah.
I have a pretty hardcore competitive side. I like to play. I love Rocket League. I've hosted some local tournaments and stuff here in the Dallas area, and I've actually gotten to work with RLCS a couple times, mostly through DreamHack. So yeah, I love competitive gaming. Fall Guys, big fan of Fall Guys. I'm not such a big fan of shooters, but I do like the Super Animal Royale game that Crex turned me on to. And then otherwise, I just love a good open world experience. I'm a exploration nut and a completionist. So, and I like narrative games. I recently played Olive Stray on live stream. Um, I'm currently playing. I've got a PS5 and freaking love the catalog there. So, Horizon Forbidden West. I'm finally playing Control. Ghostwire Tokyo is incredible. I'm a big fan of Cyberpunk 2077. I don't really play it as a shooter. I play it as an RPG. And Death Stranding, like anything creative and weird that tells a crazy story that blows my sci-fi mind. I'm into that sort of thing.
Sounds sweet.
Hey everyone, this is Tony. How are you?
Yeah, we're doing good. So let's hear your game selection for a bit of R&R.
Well, for me, recently I've been sticking to just FPS first person shooter. So I like my Call of Duty, but I also play Battlefield. I don't have a preference. I mean, if it's a good game, I'll play it. But I really enjoy a flight simulator. So Microsoft Flight Simulator, that's probably my number one. And I'll fly for like literally like maybe an hour or two, sometimes even three, and not even notice it because I'm just enjoying it. The reason why I'm doing that is I hope to one day get my pilot's license. Just get like a personal pilot's license.
Nice.
And yeah, so for me, it's kind of like I'm gaming, and it's kind of also like a real world application, right? So it's just pretty interesting that Shane did say that we're kind of kaleidoscope of different types of gamers, but at the end we could take all these different games and put them into Unbounded Earth. That's the cool thing about the Metaverse
Yeah.
Meta Galaxy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have different types of gamers that are gonna be developing their games, and it's like, hey, your neighbor has this game. You're gonna go, oh, cool. Let me go over here, and it's like, yeah, come play my game. If you want to play free or charge or whatever the case may be, you could just go over to your neighbor's plot and play their game, and vice versa. So that's something that's really cool about it. It's like you really do feel that gaming community because you're gonna have different aspects of games in different localities, right? Different individuals coming together. There might not even be people that are gamers, but they're business people. So they might do e-commerce. They might be like, well, I don't want to have a game, but I want to have a store where I could sell stuff. And you could totally do that there too. And the cool thing about that is with our Earth token, we're striving to make that our our in geosphere currency, right? So anything that you want to buy in our metaverse meta galaxy, you could totally use the Earth token, which is something else that's really exciting for me.
Yeah, that sounds all very tied in and nice, and there's going to be some great advantages for both gamers and game developers being able to sort of like all congregate in hubs with different communities and everything like that, and being able to collaborate with each other on a whole new level. To be honest.
Yeah, and it holistically turns into, like a learn to earn because, you could have a developer that has a specialty that could maybe help you out, and you could reach out and, we could have like for example, like a bulletin board or some kind of message stream that we have. Well, we have a Discord, obviously. Say, hey guys, I'm working on this game, can somebody help me out? And then in turn, I'll help you out because I have a specialty. So it truly does bring the community together. And that's what I enjoy about it.
Yeah, and I think it opens up avenues for different types of games because, sort of like in the kind of meta galaxy that we're going to see, it lends itself a lot to games that you can just like dip in and out of, as opposed to grinding in an MMO or playing 20-minute matches on League or all this sort of thing. You can you might be playing games that only take 2 minutes to complete, but you don't have to go through and download all the different programs to do it.
Absolutely.
So, what do you see as your biggest challenges coming up to sort of like release?
Oh,
And I know you got some pretty big ones.
yeah, I'm just trying to think outside of some of the stuff we've already mentioned. Uh,
Yeah,
Time.
I mean, we're literally like, not to just totally toot our horn here, but we're pioneering new technology. I mean, We are also developing a video game, and that's been done plenty of times. But yeah, the whole concept is so new. Very few people have tried it, and we're really trying to put our own spin on it.
Yeah, I
I would
mean,
say some of these earning initiatives are going to be quite complex, really. So I mean, yeah, in my world, the render pipeline is kind of the biggest challenge, and the voxel builder and just sort of standardizing this complex graphic style in a way that we can roll out to normal people. But yeah, some of our earning initiatives are also pretty innovative and complex, and yeah.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I guess my mic hasn't been working for some reason, but I can speak on the challenges a little bit. One of the challenges that I've noticed on the marketing side of things is, despite the fact that the entire crypto community is relatively small, um, there seems to be this perception, not just about metaverses, but about NFT projects in whole, that we have an oversaturated market. And I don't necessarily see how that's possible, considering how small the entire community is. But that's the perception right now, from what I get hanging out in, like Twitter Spaces and listening to people talk about things like this. So, kind of getting over that idea of oversaturation, and that's not just a challenge for us, but a challenge for any project in Cardano or any other chain right now, because the people who are here and investing in NFTs and playing around with the community and getting involved, they see oversaturation, while the mainstream people see NFTs selling for 6 figures. So we have this blind spot where people don't really realize how accessible a lot of this stuff actually is, and it's people running around talking about oversaturation is doing a lot more harm to the space than they realize.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly something that we saw with marketplaces on Cardano, where like we had CNFT.io to start with, and then obviously that was a very early stage in development, sort of like compared to where we are today. And then JPEG launched, and obviously JPEG is responsible for what 96% of the market, and the part of the market they're not responsible for is basically space buds with their own marketplace. And there's been several other marketplaces that have popped up since, like Artifact and other ones like that, that had serious investment and great teams, but they've not been able to scratch the surface because everybody's all congregating in one place.
So I'd like to speak on that on CNFT tools, actually, because something that I think is really interesting and innovative in the space that we're lacking severely is the fact that you can bundle NFTs with CNFT, not tools, CNFT tools. CNFT.io
Yeah, yeah,
has
yeah,
the
yeah.
ability to bundle NFTs, and they're the only marketplace that does that. So it's I know they've had a little bit of trouble in the last month or so, the last few months or so, with JPEG Store getting so big and everything. But with Metaverse project, or Meta Galaxy, excuse me, like ours, we have estates that consist of 9 adjacent plots, and currently that's the only platform, the only market platform that we can bundle, that people who own these estates can bundle them together
Yeah.
and actually sell them as an estate. So it's kind of that's there are people doing, like, that's what I mean with the oversaturation, right? People say they want innovation, but they're not paying attention to the innovation. The
Yeah.
innovation is there, but they're paying attention to what the hype, people are going wherever the hype tells them to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a thing of everybody talks on Twitter about how they're supporting decentralization and then lists on JPEG. I mean, but again, I think that's something that the Meta Galaxy is something that can help with that, because it's literally going to be possible. You're going to be able to have CNFT.io here. You're going to have Artifact, opposite, and you're going to have JPEG making the triangle, and all the others dotted around as well. So it'll make it a lot more visible and accessible across a wider range of people, I think. Like, because people coming into the space now, they don't necessarily know about CNFT.io, because they ask, where should I list my NFT? Everyone says JPEG. Oh, I think he's dropped out again.
Apparently, I can't mute my microphone, or it just stops working. So yeah, that's what I mean about like people perceiving this oversaturation, right? Like there's plenty of room for more than one marketplace, and there should be more than one marketplace, because as X or Sterling says many times over, competition is what creates a good market. That's what makes things keep going in an upward direction, and that is it is a crazy thing, because one of the biggest factors in the whole trilemma of blockchain is decentralization, and people will scream for decentralization all day long, but they don't realize how much they lend to centralizing everything by doing things like this. So it's really important to support some of the smaller marketplaces and some of the smaller projects, so that we don't fall prey to that, and we don't just have like Space Buds and Dead Pixels ruling everything, while 100 other projects just get left behind. But of course, another thing that X says much, and like Gary Vaynerchuk says, this is the 90s, and we're looking for the Amazons, the Googles. We're looking for these. A lot of these projects are not going to make it. It's the same thing that happened with startup businesses back then.
Yeah.
The few rose to the top, and a whole bunch of them just went to zero, and that's just the way of things. But that's exactly what we're trying to combat with blockchain. From my perspective, in my opinion, that's the whole point of all this.
I actually heard a really interesting comparison the other day. I wish I could remember where. Apologies, but this actually, I think it was Max Maher's YouTube. It was definitely Max Maher's YouTube. Shout out to Max Maher, Maher, really awesome financial YouTube channel. Cardano advocate for sure. Anyway, he says, he makes the point that this happens in pretty much any new emerging industry, right? So you experience this when the automobile first started to be mass adopted, right? There were like hundreds of car manufacturers just in the States, right? All over the world, just car manufacturers popping up left and right, trying out different tire standards and different this and that. And eventually, the market sort of whittled that down to the best products, and we still have a very competitive automobile market. But it's dominated by some major players, and you really have to be offering something like boutique and nice to operate on a smaller, more independent level. And not to mention, in the automobile industry, obviously a lot of safety standards come into play there too. And we'll undoubtedly see that sort of thing in metaverse technology, like we have with the internet. Still kind of the Wild West, but that's really a great sign, honestly. The oversaturation, as y'all are referring to it, it just shows that that this market is really coming up.
So, kind of a question that's popped into my mind a couple of times. Given the fact that the voxel rendering is incredibly difficult under the best of circumstances, what was it that made you take that approach to Unbounded Earth?
That looks amazing. When achieved, it looks great. And we want it to be different. I mean, a lot of people are heading into that realistic looking. And while I think there's room for that, I think there needs to be some differentiators in the market. like I said, I just really like the style of it. Adding to that list of games, I spent a lot of time playing Minecraft. So I guess, a few reasons, but yeah, I really
That's
like
not
it.
to say we're gonna have blockheads.
Oh no, no way. I actually had a conversation earlier saying like I feel like I'm having nightmares of this Roblox character coming out of this, which is
Yeah,
totally not what we want.
to me, honestly, I would classify it more high definition voxel, if anything.
Yeah.
That's what I think when I see it.
If you go check out the videos that we have on the weapons collection and what those are going to look like, there's a pretty good example of the direction that things are taking right now. But I just want to step back, if I may, just for a second, on because my mic was broken during the during our little gaming showcase.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
one of the
I did want to
games.
come back to that for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. One of the games that I actually recently started playing because of some of our discussions in Unbounded Earth is Chivalry 2. And man, I have definitely fallen prey to this game. It is a whole lot of fun. It's not very well known that I'm aware of, but it's basically like large scale medieval war, and you just have two teams just charging at each other, and the war, it gets crazy to the point where you may have like one guy fending off four people, and your teammates all beside you are swinging their weapons horizontally instead of vertically, so you're getting smacked in the back by your teammates while people got to learn to do those vertical strikes and things like that. But yeah, I've been gaming taught me how to read before I was even in preschool, so I've been an avid gamer since for more or less my entire life, and a hyper competitive gamer at that for a lot of my life. I won a lot of tournaments, including Halo, Soul Calibur, Mortal Kombat, things like that.
Oh,
And
they're not easy to win.
oh yeah, I'm not so competitive. I mean, I'm still very competitive, but I used to be competitive for money. That was back in those days. I was on an MLG team for call it the first Modern Warfare, Call of Duty. We played MLG tournaments and all that. So it's yeah, as they said, we have a very broad spectrum of games that we all play and that we're all taking inspiration from moving forward in this project. Oh, don't mute my mic; it'll break.
Yeah. I'll say
So,
Justin and I are friends IRL, and we like to play these competitive games together. You can see us on stream sometimes, both on we both have our own streams, and we play on the Unbounded Earth stream too.
very nice. So, in the spirit of fairness, I'll reveal my gaming background. Because, I mean, I love gaming as much as you guys, not going to lie. At the minute, I'm playing a bunch of League of Legends.
Oh, nice. That was one I forgot to mention.
Teamfight Tactics as well. I quite enjoy that, especially, I'm not so good at the fast reaction and having to know exactly where my mouse is every second of the time games anymore.
Yeah.
Before that, sorry, yeah, I've also played a little bit of Anno 2205 or whatever it is, like the futuristic Anno. But my main gaming history comes from EverQuest. So
Wow,
I
nice,
played,
old school.
yeah, I played that for about 15 years. Sort of like from about a year or 18 months after release, and a lot of that rating at the high end. So yeah,
I should say that back in that day, I was also very into MMOs. I just don't have the time anymore. But I played a little EverQuest, a lot of World of Warcraft,
yeah.
and one of my biggest gaming passions in my life was The Matrix Online. That game was short-lived. It was overly ambitious. They did so many things right that just haven't been done since. Super innovative game, developed by Monolith Soft, who's now making the Xenoblade series for Nintendo. Yeah, just a man. If you watch some YouTube stuff on the Matrix Online, especially if you like the Matrix, like they were actually continuing the story of the movies in this game. The Wachowskis were writing it. It was incredible.
So how much, sort of like, how many pitfalls do you think you've been able to avoid sort of like when you're now making your own game, having played all these, wide-ranging different styles of games, amongst the team and everything like that? Like, how has that
I will
experience filtered
summarize
into?
that in one statement by saying I have a much greater appreciation for game development than I ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hear that.
And I've had experience in that, coding, but not to this level.
Yeah, I've kept up with gaming news my whole life, like I said earlier, and I'm a big cyberpunk fan, like I said earlier.
Yeah,
A lot of lessons have been learned in the gaming industry over the last couple of years,
yeah,
particularly coming from Poland. And yeah,
yeah.
um, I'm a big fan of the Miyamoto quote: "A delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad." And
Yeah.
that's kind of one of our guiding lights. I know our community always hates to hear, like, well, we're going to actually take a little bit longer with this. But, like, trust us, man, hundreds of millions of dollars were invested in Cyberpunk 2077,
Yeah.
over $300 million. And after all that money in 9 years, they put out a broken game because their investors rushed them to. They made them, and now a year later, the game's amazing. It's
Yeah.
selling fine, but they have to sell it super cheap because it's got a really bad reputation. And what could have been if they had only just perfected it a little more, just polished it a little more.
I mean, I wonder how much that game affected pre-order sales for every other game that's come after
Yeah,
it.
totally. For the
Like,
time being, people will forget, but yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And there's always hype after all.
It's
Yep.
unfortunate that it happened to Cyberpunk, but I don't necessarily see that sort of effect as a bad thing. Like it was I it kind of steered me away from games, even regardless of how much I was interested in the game before. Like when a game gets overhyped and everybody's excited about it, because it's they're almost never going to live up to the expectations. Once that bar is set to that level, I mean, there's only so far we've come in game development as a species, and I feel like Cyberpunk, with a lot of the innovations that they did bring to the table, even on release, there was a lot of new things about that game that hadn't been done before. But despite all of that, the amount of hype that game generated was ultimately what caused um, all of the problems with the community rushing it out, because they did have to push back dates to be able to deliver what they wanted to deliver. And for me, that's okay. I'm completely on Sterling's side here, where I'll wait for a good
Yeah.
game to be released. I mean, I've been waiting on GTA 6 for years at this
Yep.
point, and I'm not worried about it. I'm okay with them taking their time because I want to play a game that's complete.
Yeah,
I
I
would have
mean,
kept
like,
buying miniatures while I continued to wait on Cyberpunk. I owned a chest full of Cyberpunk figures before the game even came out, and I still collect them because I still love it. Like, it's an amazing story and really ambitious, innovative game. And I think we see a lot of parallels to that sort of thing in the NFT world. Memorabilia and hype and collectibles and investments and all that sort of thing.
yeah, I mean, it's quite different with you guys compared to sort of like any AAA studio, of course, because you guys are active in Discord, which that's
That's fair.
a very different environment for to have around any game development. To be honest, like that minute by minute feedback that everybody's always craving.
That can be stressful. We don't really. A lot of our team is just active in Discord because they love the community, and everybody up on the stage right now you'll see participating for sure. We're kind of like voices of the company, so to speak. Um, but yeah, we're not trying to like force our designers to hang out in Discord and get criticized all day and stuff. A lot of our development team is totally buckled down in the passion and in the creativity and doing their own thing.
So what kind of stuff do you have going on in Discord? Because obviously, long development cycles. People like to have something to keep them occupied.
Well, so it's It's not entirely our Discord, but to be specific to Discord, we've set up a lot of the games that many of you are probably familiar with. We've had Gardic games. We have the Me6 economy bot where you can play around and gamble in the bot channels and things like that. Deland Crypto, one of our team members, hosts a poker game every week in Discord, but beyond that, just community engagement in general. We definitely go beyond Discord in that regard. That's one of the reasons we set up the Twitch channel, is to be able to create a more immersive form of engagement that's not just channel after channel of text chats and text games and things like that. So we play marbles every week. We have some other plans for Twitch streams and other games. We're just going to be doing a lot of community gaming events, play some games like Rocket League and Fall Guys. Mostly games that are free and cross-platform, so that as many people, if you want to participate, the barrier to entry to participate in things like that is very low. But yeah, there's a lot of lull in between major announcements. So those are a lot of the things that we're doing to keep people engaged and excited about what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, all sounds pretty awesome. I mean, looking at your Discord now, I do see you have quite an active non-English speaking community as well, like especially the Spanish and Portuguese.
Oh, Vietnam showed up. Shout out to Vietnam. Our metrics on our last month were like, I think the U.S. minted the most, followed by UK, and then Vietnam was like a close third. And their channel is super active.
Nice.
We love our Vietnamese community.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
and
We do
shout out
also.
to
I should.
Sterling is the
I
one
should.
who spent a lot of time setting up he spent a lot of time setting up the different channels for the various languages, and literally every time one or two people would pop in from another country, he would immediately be on setting up the next channel and asking around to see who would like to finding people who are bilingual and able to help be ambassadors in those regards. So I mean, it's like just I don't think I've just given you your laurels, X, because that's something that's not mentioned enough, is how well put together the Discord is.
And it's
I
probably
appreciate
something
that.
that's not as common, because I remember at the beginning, man, yeah, like a new channel would pop up and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, cool. So then I go in that channel and, I see people being active in there and stuff. So that was great, because it's like, it's just representative of the earth itself, right? The unbounded earth. There's different languages there. There's different communities, different walks of life. So it's just a awesome representation. It's kind of like, basically mirroring real life.
nice. I mean, like speaking about language and stuff. How much are you going to be able to do with implementing different languages around Unbounded Earth, whether it's for your own sort of like games and products and services and everything, and obviously third parties as well?
I do have some interesting thoughts around this, but to be honest, we're not far along enough in the development to really speak too much on it. I mean, I'll let anyone else throw out some ideas if they want.
I mean, I think that's fair to say. Of course, we want to be compatible and reach a broad audience. But as I was wanting to say when Justin was talking about the Discord, our ambassadors are key. They're a really important part of our community, and we really appreciate them. And I'm sure that once we enter once we launch our Meta Galaxy, um, I'm sure that these ambassadors will really help us cross that bridge.
Yeah,
In truth, though, like, you've got menus, and ultimately we'd like to have some questing and a bit of story baked in, but most of the experience in any sort of metaverse ecosystem, virtual land platform, is user created, right? So I very much think that we'll see certain cultures and communities gravitating towards certain content, much like you do in any real city,
yeah, yeah.
Um, maybe a little less segregated, especially in projects that do like random land myths. You can't just kind of like shove all the people of one nationality into one corner of the meta galaxy.
No.
For better or worse, there are definitely some advantages to propagating cultural influence in geographical communities. But yeah, I think that it really comes down to the users, right? It comes down to what people want to do, and if a lot of people are in there speaking Vietnamese, doing like, then yeah, I mean, there you go. We'll have Vietnamese content for you.
So speaking about that, I mean, obviously, it's a big wide world out there. How is travel going to work, sort of like around within Unbounded Earth?
We have said a bit about this. Do you want to get into the plot specifics, Shane? I mean, we were kind of just talking earlier about how much we talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, we can do. I mean, I guess. How much detail do you want us to go into?
So here's one that I've asked a couple of other projects is like, if I was stood on one side of of Unbounded Earth, how long would it take me to get to the other side?
That's a very cool question. We've not actually timed that. That's a very cool question. I actually like that.
I think that the most accurate answer is it depends on what you're driving.
Well, that's true. Or if you run or walk, or who knows, maybe even skateboard.
I would even go as far as to say is currently that question is unanswerable, considering what the map is right now.
That's true. Yeah.
So are you going to have like fast travel options? So if I'm hanging out on my plot, my mate on the other side of the galaxy says, "Come over, I've just got this really cool game I want to show you." How long is it going to take me to be able to enter his abode and play this game?
So we want that to be a convenient experience. Yes, there will be some fast travel options. We don't necessarily know the full details of how we're going to implement that. There may be, for instance, some benefits to owning a certain NFT, or to, maybe land holders versus free-to-play people might have access to different portals, or just kind of spitballing, but maybe being able to portal to your own property at least, maybe a friend's. But of course, like, I think that most people who have played games have probably played GTA, and if you've ever played GTA, if you told me that you haven't spent at least an hour aimlessly driving around for no reason, listening to music, enjoying the map, I'd call you a liar. I think everybody gets some kind of kick out of like just operating a vehicle in a virtual world. So we want there to be like a places to drive and reasons to drive and roads to drive on. And then, of course, we've also, two of our collaborators currently are Metaplanes and Metajet, who are selling airplanes and jetpacks, respectively. So you will definitely be able to fly around. Definitely, there's still some logistics to work out there, especially with the planes and runways and airports and all that stuff. Jetpacks are a little more straightforward, but yep. There will be traversal and there will be fast travel, details pending on both, really.
Yeah, I mean, I actually had an AMA with Metaplanes a couple of months ago now, I think, actually. But yeah, they had some really exciting things in the works that sounded very promising.
I would also add, think about it like this. One of our major themes in our Meta Galaxy metaverse is exploration. So the thing is that we want people to explore, whether it be land, we're going to have bodies of water. There might even be other surprises that I won't go too much into, but there'll be ways to, explore the interior and also be, trekking the outdoors per se, right? So you'll be able to climb like mountain tops and stuff like that. So, it's gonna be really exciting. But I think, yeah, the main theme is gonna be exploration.
I just got to shout out MetaJet as well, because their NFT is it's already operable. And that's
sick.
something that a lot of people look for in the space is an NFT that has realized utility. So shout out to MetaJet for bringing their ideas to fruition.
Yeah, so just finding their page to throw up for YouTube now. Yeah, they got some
Yeah,
punch
they
in that for
are.
sure.
If you're into CNFT metaverse stuff, then you probably heard of Station. And MetaJet is also collaborating with them, so that's
Nice.
kind of like the first test meta galaxy. I don't know what they call themselves. I don't want to put words in their mouth, but yeah, and you can actually pilot a jetpack, a MetaJet jetpack in that. So yeah, pretty cool work that they're doing over there, making it happen.
Nice. So, how much of the world is going to be dedicated to exploring and gaming versus plots where people are going to be building, houses, stores, marketplaces, whatever?
Comes down to what the users
Yeah.
do with their land.
Yeah, well, we spoke a little bit about this today in terms of our plot counts and how much would
Mhm.
be UE traversal ground. So we're actually working on the numbers for that, which I'm gonna say tentatively within like 3 or 4 weeks maybe.
Okay.
We'll probably have that nailed down. If we've got a few other things we want to do, but if we finish those, we're gonna move on to some of that stuff. So just pending those other things, because that's yeah, we actually kind of want to iron out some of those counts.
Also,
And then we can actually make it publicly available, so
Yeah.
it'll give a better idea percentage-wise.
also think that the sentiment there is really complex because we did a poll on Twitter not too long ago asking which aspect of the metaverse was most important to them, and it was staggeringly at the time in favor of building on plots. But I also a thing that I've noticed about the space is a lot of people that are here now aren't necessarily gamers. It's really interesting that gamers haven't been the first ones to flock to metaverse and metagalaxy projects. It's a lot of people who are seeing the metaverse as the next evolution of the internet as a whole. So the community sentiment that's very centered around building on your plots are coming from a lot of people who are interested in creating their own businesses and monetizing their land and those sorts of ways. But I think that as NFTs go more and more into the mainstream, we're going to see a lot more interest in the actual gaming aspects as gamers come into the space.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like the early adopters are the people that are going to be building for the gamers coming afterwards at this point. So the gamers are going to be able to turn up to a finished and released product rather than have to go through the process of making it themselves.
Yeah, totally.
So what happens? When if somebody's built up their parcel, everything like that. With they might have built their own store and game. Is that able to then be sold as a complete package, or is the land separate from the items that are held on it?
I think that that's something that that a seller in this case would basically have to bundle, and we see that sort of thing being executed typically in the space right now in escrow deals.
Yeah,
But I
trading
mean,
chains.
the answer to so many questions like this when it comes to metaverse technology is, well, how's that handled in real life, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean, you don't just go to the store and buy a building that has business features that's on a plot of land, from Walmart or whatever. It's complicated, and that's a big transaction. And going back to Gary V, it's 1990 and this is the internet. Yeah, right now somebody might sell something like that for a relatively small, if not like video game like amount of money, in the future, something like that might be generating some pretty serious money and might cost quite a bit, and you'd want to get lawyers involved and stuff. Really just depends on the scale and the deal and timing and all of that.
Yeah, for sure. So we have been running a while, so I'm going to have to start thinking about wrapping up at some point in the fairly near future. But was there anything sort of like, any big features or anything that we've not touched on already that you wanted to make sure got some light?
Hmm.
Maybe drop a
We
couple
could
more
also
hints
add
about what
the
might be coming up in the future.
yeah. We can also mention that you guys can stake your ADA with UESP and earn Earth tokens with us.
Great shout, Johnny.
Okay,
And
so
we have so much
are the
going
Earth
on in our
tokens
ecosystem.
are the Earth tokens tradable on a DEX like MinSwap or anything?
We have MinSwap and Sunday Swap.
Nice. So you'd be able to head over there and reload when you punt all your Earth tokens on getting a new sword. Then.
Yeah.
I think an interesting shout would be we are going to implement a item scaling system in which there will be an approval process, but it's one of the plans to be able to let users use our item system, which currently the weapons will exist on this system. The pineapple pizzas that we minted abide by this system as well. It's a 10 level item scoring system that ranges in rarity and the power that the respective item has. So say a level 9 food item will heal you more and be usable more quickly than say a level 2 would, and we'll be implementing a process where people can use their own, create their own collections and have them approved to actually be usable within the Unbounded Earth ecosystem. I think that's something that's fairly unique.
So will you be like approving sort of like stats and things like that based on whatever parameters they're submitted?
Yeah, Sterling could answer it better, but the way it ultimately works is the stats will be the same. This will mostly be for cosmetics. So ultimately, you'd be able to release your own collection if you create a game with if you have an estate and you create a game on your estate, you can release your collection for that. But if you want it to work within, like, say, a quest line, if we build a quest line and you want your collection to work within our quest line, then it would just have to follow this 10 level system, and those 10 levels basically are the stats of the weapon. So you wouldn't be able to manipulate the stats and create you couldn't make Thor's hammer, you couldn't just go in there and create the most powerful weapon in the game and go use it to run around and smash everything in the quest or in the PvP.
Yeah, this is a little more for PvP than questing. But yeah, this also allows us to continually balance the collection, right? So that's something that you always see in PvP games is as people discover exploits or weaknesses, they take advantage of them, and no online game is immune to updates. So the level system is our way of making sure that this is reasonable and that the NFTs can come along with the updates. Yeah, and then another thing worth mentioning in that whole system is that we do, if you can't tell, this team is kind of founded and predominantly made up of pretty serious gamers.
Yeah.
We definitely value the effort that it takes to get good, the sweat that goes into it. And we want to encourage that in people who like to get sweaty. We also understand that in the NFT world, some people sort of like to buy their way to victory. and we don't really see any shame in that so long as everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
So we're going to be using a ranking system where at lower levels of gameplay, the effects of the item level are much greater than at higher levels of gameplay. So at the highest level of gameplay, a level 10 and a level 1 would be on equal footing, and it just comes down to your skill and your ability to swing the thing around, or shoot it or whatever. At lower levels, you can kind of buy better items to get a leg up on the competition, right?
So how long? Sorry, what kind of length playtime are you expecting to for someone to play to achieve something significant in the game, whether it's completing a quest or any like battleground PvP tournaments that you might have going? I'm not quite sure what direction you're going with that, but what do you expect your average playtime to be around?
And that's really open-ended because that depends on your style of play. And some people aren't even coming for play, right? Some people want to buy a fancy estate and have VR business meetings there, you know? Um, and that's a kind of unlimited use case for them, but it's not really the same thing as gameplay, right?
Yeah.
We are wanting to have some quest lines ultimately, probably at the official launch after open beta. Um, we're wanting to do expanded content, you know, as time goes on. And yeah, that's hard to say. I mean, I think we're probably going to target something reasonable for like PvP matches. I don't think they're going to be like hour-long League of Legends ordeals or anything. Yeah, that's pretty hard to say. But when it comes to questing and exploration and all of that sort of thing, I mean, we'll just always be adding to it. Really, it's kind of like asking to play time of World of Warcraft, you know? And it's like, well, that was one amount of time in 2005, and it's a lot more
Yeah.
time now, and things have come and gone, you know, and there were temporary events and all of that.
And as Tony said earlier, blockchain Bodhi, as he said earlier, you know, within a lot of these meta galaxies and in Unbounded Earth, there's the potential for building quite an assortment of games. So, I mean, from our end, there's so many possibilities. I mean, you have the ideas of PvP matches, which if you go in the direction of League of Legends can take forever. But if you go like towards a more like team deathmatch style, they can last anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. So there's like as X saying, that being an open-ended question, it really depends on which aspect of Unbounded Earth are you focused on? What do you want to do inside it? Because ultimately, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the goal is to, you know, create something for everyone. Like if you want to come into Unbounded Earth and crack skulls, then you can crack skulls. If you want to come into Unbounded Earth and hang out with your friends on a waterfront and drink digital mimosas, then you can do that too. So I won't say playtime is irrelevant, because it's definitely relevant, but it's almost an impossible question to answer.
No, that's
we
fair.
we want to provide a range of just experiences as a company, as a studio, in what we offer as UE official in-game content, so to speak. But really, like, we're not just trying to make a little something for everyone. We're trying to make a world where everyone can make a little something for anyone, right?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, well said.
Another question that's popped into my mind, which again is going to be quite broad, but have you had much in the way of inquiries and interest from people outside of the immediate CNFT space? And by people, I mean sort of like more like big brands, whether it's, you know, Coca-Cola or cinema chains, or sort of like, you know, businesses that are more usually seen in the real world as it stands right now.
You want us to violate Coca-Cola's NDA right now, man? You're crazy.
Yeah, this is the thing.
No.
Obviously, you're not going to be able to give too many details, but I'm interested to know on the level of interest and the level of inquiries that you may or may not have received. Because obviously, this is something that's going to be quite important across the entire meta galaxy, not just Unbounded Earth. Because for everybody's aiming to have the investment come in, whether it's if if we want people to have like business meetings, everything like that. Obviously, we need providers for all that and everything like that, and
To be perfectly honest, all of our inboxes totally get flooded with a number of potential marketing opportunities that probably range from serious to scam. And
more scam than
at this,
serious, I'm sure.
yeah, yeah, and at this moment, I mean, we'd be open to marketing opportunities, but since we don't necessarily have the platform developed yet to launch a campaign, so to speak, um, if a company were wanting to really make an investment in Unbounded Earth, then we would be more interested in a group or individual that really wants to get involved in development and kind of be a part of the development. We're not really in a position to just make like Coke Island. That didn't come out right.
Yeah, sold.
I feel like you just dropped yourself in it.
Yeah, I'm better back
Dr.
up.
Pepper Island. We'll say Dr.
There
Pepper
you
Island.
go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh dear.
One thing before we wrap up is also to mention is we are doing a rebrand of our logo and also redesigning of our website too. So it's very awesome. What you're looking at now and what's going to come out very, very soon is a very high advanced website that we're building, and we're excited for that. And we're targeting towards the end of the month or next month as well. So look forward to that for the update on our website and our redesigning of our logo.
Well, this is totally arbitrary, but if you haven't checked out our Earth token on pool.pm and just you can go play around with it in augmented reality or just spin it around there on your screen. It was designed by the highly sought after artist Tyler with Spaces, who actually just recently designed the campaign NFTs for January Walker, the Utah politician. But it's probably like, and I'm not saying this because I'm part of the team, but it's one of the most incredible tokens that I've seen on the blockchain. I'm absolutely in love with that design. So big shout out to Tyler with Spaces.
Could one of you just DM me a link to that quickly so I can throw it up for the YouTube crowd?
Yeah. Let me go find it real quick.
We went through fairly extensive iterations with that token. It was he did a fantastic job though. It wasn't like bad iterations either. It's like, oh, this is cool. I'm really happy. An hour later, he's like, oh, dude, I've come up with something even better.
That was an ideal design scenario for sure. He was great to work with.
Yeah. Definitely check him out if you don't know who that is.
Yeah, I mean, we really nailed the whole like token looking thing. We've got our the Latin insignia across it, Omnes Immenso Sumus, which translates to "We are all unbounded." It's got the policy ID going around one of the ring. I'll send you the link.
I remember the first time I saw it. The first thing I thought about was making a physical representation of it. Just having it like physically made, and have it in like my study and just stare at it and play with it and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely need one of those when that happens. I want it on my desk.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll be doing it, but none of you are getting it before me.
Well, that's fair. As long as I get one, I don't care when.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to make it a real thing. It's gonna be so cool.
I just sent you the
Yeah.
link to it in your DMs.
Ooh. Yeah, that's pretty. That's really pretty. All right, I'll just put that into NFT chat as well. So the people that have been with us for approaching 2 hours now, got to give credit for that.
Wow,
This
I didn't
is
realize
this
it's almost been
this
2
is
hours.
definitely one of our longer AMAs. I think probably at the minute you're ranking probably fourth or fifth longest than I've ever done.
Right, that's kind of like a challenge. How long's the longest?
It's I believe it's like 2 hours and 2 minutes or something like that. So we're about 15, 20 minutes away from that. We started slightly late,
Oh,
I
that's
think.
easy.
But
You're a great host. You ask really great questions. And as a host of things similar to this myself, I'm over here taking notes.
wow, thank you. I mean,
That is how we get there.
yeah, I mean, I try. I've had a little practice. It was something that I was told. Yeah, try doing this out, and I've tried it out, and people seem to be enjoying it so far. So I've carried on doing it.
You know, whenever we have these kind of meetings where we have like an AMA or just chat with each other and stuff like that, it's like we kind of we show our excitement, right? And we try to get everybody as excited as we are about the project. I mean, considering that, yeah, we do have inside information, and it's like, whoa, I can't wait for this to come out, right? We kind of we kind of want to put that anticipation out there too, obviously, and we're like, okay, when it's ready, we want to put it out there. But yeah, sometimes I'm just like, hey, let's put the stuff out there already, man, because I want people to be as hyped as I am, and I think that comes across with all of us. It's like we're all really excited, and in a sense, I mean, I'll speak for myself. I'm like a big fanboy of this project. Like
Yeah,
I got into
totally.
this is like my first time in the video game industry, and I'm really hyped. I love where I'm at.
I second that motion, Tony, and being the guy that's on the front lines of Twitter, it's really hard to keep my mouth shut sometimes.
Yeah, I could see it, bro. Like I'm there in the audience, and I'm like, oh man, don't say that yet, or oh, let's just wait off on that. It's like I know we're really excited to just put all this stuff out there, but I think we got to do it little by little. I think if we also do too much, it'll just be overwhelming. I think we'll literally like blow minds, so we want to kind of hold back, but
All
we'll
I'm
get
gonna
there,
say
guys.
is, you guys think it's hard for you, but I don't need approval from anyone to leak anything. So, you know what it is for me. I could literally just blurt anything, and
Well, you're the big brother, like hanging over our like every time I'm thinking about what I'm about to say when someone asks me a question, I'm like, what can I say that won't make Chrome upset?
yeah. Whereas I've got one Chrome on my left shoulder, one Chrome on my right shoulder, going, "Release the info, release the info. It's so exciting." And the other one's like, "You can't yet. It's not ready."
Yeah, that's more or less what it is. That's more or less what it is. Because I mean, just being a part of this team has been a really great experience. Because everybody does we get along really well. We know we've all been in Twitter Spaces. We've been in on Twitch streams, and we've like I feel like that if we were all in the same place geographically, that we would definitely have a Dungeons and Dragons night or something nerdy like that.
Definitely. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, what could be better than working with a bunch of people that you go and play D&D with?
Exactly. It's
Can't
it's
think of
great.
anything.
It's just
Except
it
playing
really.
Unbounded Earth together, but
Yeah. I
Of
mean, that's
course,
definitely going to happen.
of course. I mean, speaking as somebody that has literally never bought a metaverse plot on any platform or anything like that, kind of thinking I might just grab
right.
myself one or two of these.
I'm afraid that's illegal. So hit me up at the end.
Hey, I'll tell
I'll
you
sort
what.
you out.
I'll tell you what, ToolSin. I got a plot for you. Send me your wallet address.
Oh wow!
I'll send you your first
Yeah,
plot of
give me yours
Unbounded
too.
Earth.
I got one with your name on it.
Oh wow! Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Like,
we definitely love to have you as a part of the community. I don't know your real name. I got here a little later. I don't want to call you Toolson. My name's Tony.
See, I'm one of those awkwardly undoxed people, so that's
Oh, okay, okay.
I just go by ToolSin.
Okay,
I,
ToolSin.
I
That's
I
cool.
was
Not a
I was
problem.
originally Original Sin, but when we started Tools, Legion of Brad Ninja changed me to ToolSin, and so yeah, I'm now ToolSin.
I got you, man. Not a problem. But yeah, welcome to the community.
Name
Yeah,
kind of has Hobbit vibes, and actually your PFP fits because if you take the capital off of the sin part and you just say Toulson, it's like it gives me Hobbit vibes. You know what I mean? Like Toulson Baggins.
yeah. I
Nice.
mean, my PFP is Reginald. He's the like the community mascot for Cardinos, which was what originally brought a lot of the CNFT tools team to Cardano in the first place. So yeah, we minted back in May last year. Promptly set a server on fire trying to mint out. Had to
One of
pull
the
the mint for a
OGs.
few days. 3 days later, come back, and then yeah, I mean, we were one of the first 10k projects to sell out, and we've done we've got a great community.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, if you're up for it, for the people that have stuck on for almost 2 hours, we'd be more than happy to have a plot for a giveaway if you want to throw one out there.
Oh, most definitely. And yeah, I think that the people that have hung around for a couple of hours definitely deserve the chance to win one of these because yeah, that's commitment from everybody.
Awesome. Well, pick the giveaway winner however you like. Let us know, and we'll get it sent.
Right. Well, for those of you still listening, one of the things I used to do on Dinos a lot that I've not done on Tools yet is a little fast numbers game. So there's what 2, 4, 6. There's a good 10 or 12 of us still in. So I'm going to do a random number generator, and I'm going to generate a number between 1 and 50. The first person to post that number in NFT chat will win. Let's come here, random number generator. So 1 and 50. Right, I have a number, so start firing them off and confuse the hell out of everybody. Expect Mrs. Shetland to turn up. She does love a good numbers
Anybody
game.
counting from 1 to 50 yet?
Yeah, and
You might
only
as well just
and,
give
and
your
only
answers, right?
one answer per line, please.
This is gonna be one of
Maybe
those
I should have
games
made
when
it 25, but you know.
yeah, no one's gonna remember the numbers that have been picked.
Oh, see that's the best of it. That's the best of it.
I know.
Especially when it's one that you think is going to be really easy, and then it like takes 5 minutes later, and no one's got it.
Yeah. We might have to play a game of hot or colder if it takes too long.
I mean, I could pop up the Twitch stream and we can throw on a one marbles game real quick.
So yeah, no one's got it yet. So it's above 25.
Oh, there you go.
So it's between 25 and 50.
Hey, look at Lightning. He's got the idea. Just go in order.
Yeah. There we go. We have a winner. We have a winner. And I'm just going to double check that I didn't miss an earlier reply for any silly reason. Oh, I had missed an earlier reply.
Oh,
So
object.
the winner is Soul with 34.
Congratulations, Soul. Welcome to the Unbounded Earth ecosystem if you weren't already a part.
GG.
So yeah, I will send Soul's address over to you shortly, and you'll be able to send them over a nice little land plot.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, or head over to the Discord and create a ticket, which is a good way to make sure that you're in the Discord.
Nice.
That's how you link a plug to a plug. I like it.
I say, well, one of the popular things that we do with the whitelist giveaways and the other giveaways that we run on the server is that our bot will automatically make sure that the winner is in the giveaway servers or on the giveaway servers server. Bit of a
Cool.
mouthful, that one. So people are quite used to making sure that they're in the servers and everything like that, or at least they should be.
Nice.
But yeah, that does give me a chance to. Oh, I had too many DMs. Right. Invite people, and just in case anyone needs it, there's a link to the Discord there.
Thank you very much.
But
Is
yeah.
is the recording going to be publicly accessible?
Yes, yes. What I'll do, I've got some other bits and pieces to do first, and I've got a wifey who's probably been waiting for me for about 2 hours now.
Oh, I'm so dirty, my friend. She came in about 45 minutes ago and was like, "Yeah, I'm going to bed now."
But yeah, what I'll do is I've got some bits to do, and then I'm going to set it to upload while I sleep. And it'll be up in the morning. It'll be available on the obviously on the YouTube channel. It will be available on the AMA archive, and I'll make sure that you guys get a link as well.
Yeah, that's cool. It'll be good to post it from our community for those that can jump on as well.
Yeah, and for anyone that is watching this back on YouTube, well done for making it this far. Like, absolutely well done. Thank you very much. Make sure you give it a like and a share. Feel free to if you're feeling particularly generous, subscribe and all that, and make sure that anyone interested in Unbounded Earth gets sight of this video.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good resource for us, actually. You know, lots of good questions, especially for people that are new to the project. I kind of want to get involved.
I want to do something. I want to do something unique. I don't think this has ever been done before. So this is for the YouTube followers, and I suppose. Yeah, well, I guess this will be hard to do because the people listening now, if they get this, then they can get this too. But but if anybody makes it this far, this is Crex the Mage speaking. If anybody makes it this far into the YouTube video and you hear this, there is a plot of land, and if you can answer this question, then you will get that plot of land. There was. In the TV show, the cartoon Adventure Time, there is a character who is trying to go to the moon, and Jake the dog messes that up. If you can name that character, you will win a plot.
Wow, that's absolutely awesome.
It's so random, but I love it.
So yeah, are we disqualifying people that are still here, unfortunately, for that?
Yeah, I was just memorizing some of these names here.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
They already had their chance to win a plot.
Yeah, they just had to count.
But yeah, I mean.
That was.
Yeah, go on.
Well, go ahead.
No, definitely. I was about to start wrapping up, but you you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say that the whole number counting thing is a really good way to do a quick giveaway. I've that's another thing I'm writing down out of the things that I've been writing down over your hosting expertise, because there's sometimes you just gotta pop up a giveaway and you don't want to make it a complicated Twitter picker or marbles game or something like that, and a quick number count in a text chat is that's an A+.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's something that's easily fair to everybody as well. Like it doesn't require knowledge of some cartoon on a continent that you've never been to. And that came out a little bit worse than I meant it, but yeah, it's something that's accessible to everybody.
And also, guys, don't fret if you didn't win this time. Join us on Twitch every Monday for Monday Marbles. There's giveaways there too, so there's still opportunities to win here, everybody. So
yeah, we actually, and I'm not sure how long we're going to continue this, but over the last few weeks, we've actually been giving away 2 plots of land and one of the alpha access tablets on Twitch. So that's a pretty hefty giveaway for just coming to a Twitch channel and typing exclamation mark play into the chat. So if you want a chance to get one of those, definitely join us on Mondays at 10 p.m. UTC on twitch.tv/Unbounded Earth.
And yeah, I will say that Marbles on stream, absolutely great fun. It's the sort of thing where you think, oh, what's this? But it's so lovely to watch. It's so lovely to watch.
If you haven't, Tool, you should check out Fall Guys. It's
I bought it. I bought it at release.
Oh yeah, it's free now. So actually, if you haven't played it since it became free, you'll get all kinds of fancy cosmetics that are pretty cool. But that's a game that we are hoping, if we get enough people to download it and interested in playing it, we want to use that game for giveaways as well. There's a lot of opportunity there, and it's a really, really fun game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's and I know a lot of people like Smash Carts as well. That's very popular right now.
That game is hilarious. I played Smash Carts for the first time last week, and it was really funny because it was with Cardano and Color, which like 55 projects contributed to Cardano and Color. They were doing a donation to St. Jude. 100% of their mint went to St. Jude, and they were minting coloring books.
Yeah.
Alina was our submission. The line art for Alina was submitted into that. But we were doing a stream with Cardano and Color celebrating their donation to St. Jude, and we played Smash Cards. Every time you die, an advertisement pops up. Well, the stars aligned this day because every advertisement that popped up on my screen when I got destroyed was a St. Jude advertisement.
Nice.
So it was just really weird.
I have to admit I did mint one of those myself, so people on YouTube can see what we're talking about now. But yeah, like a lot of love for what those guys did.
Yeah, Tofurky's a great member of the community, and it's good to see people using the blockchain for things like that. And it's I didn't even know that St. Jude was actually such a proponent of cryptocurrencies. They don't accept ADA yet, so he had to convert it to another crypto to be able to send in the donation. But I think that because of Cardano and Color, that's something that that's something that they may be fixing soon.
I mean, that's absolutely great to hear. I mean, the more adoption, the more better.
And it seems that Cardano is real big just as a community and as a crypto. They're real big on giving back, and just being involved in charities and good causes. So that's one of the things that gets kind of like a little off topic, but not really. One of the things that kind of gravitated me towards Cardano was the fact that I saw a lot of good work being done here. So it's like, yeah, you know what? There's a way to make a profit, but there's also a way to just in essence make the world a better place.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and people do what they can when they can, which is absolutely you couldn't ask for more than that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, I think that's a fairly good place to round up. I kind of want to stretch it just another minute or two, just to make sure we get over that line for the longest ever now. Because I think if we're not there, we'll be there within 2 or 3 minutes. I think.
Yeah.
We are so close.
2 minutes.
Right. Well, I'm just going to.
Let me ask you a question, Tool. What is your favorite competitive game right now? If you were gonna leave this call and start up a gaming session, and you wanted to be competitive and beat somebody at something right now, what would you play?
If I actually wanted to win, I'd probably play Teamfight Tactics.
Okay, I can't challenge you to that. You definitely run me over.
But yeah, I mean, I can do League. I do have Rocket League installed as well. I'm fairly terrible at that game, like I am most games. Um, like, you know, it's like I have Fortnite installed, but I am even worse at first-person shooters than I am at most other game types.
There we go. See, Fortnite's middle ground. Fortnite's middle ground. So what I'm getting at is I'm trying to find the right middle ground to challenge you to a competitive game sometime in the near future on Twitch.
Well, I'm quite happy to play you heads up for rolls in poker.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Well, I mean, Saturdays are poker games, and I suppose we could stream that on Twitch. That's you just you just made a light bulb ding. Yeah, we may have to set this up.
We're going to have some serious discussions. We've got some things happening with tools, yeah, if you have regular poker nights, everything like that, we're starting poker nights, and we have like a poker buy-in bot that's been developed and tested. We're just waiting for the right moment to roll out, and that will allow like real money buy-ins for communities, and then you'll be able to link that in with the Poker Now and everything like that, and then payout can be made afterwards, and everything's all like held in like escrow and stuff like that, and everything's awesome.
I think Johnny's ears just perked up right now. He's our resident poker
Johnny
stud.
is our resident crazy man. He is so good at poker.
Hey, Tool, they call him 5-of-a-kind Johnny.
I say, well, I did used to play quite seriously for a good while myself, so this could be quite interesting.
Oh, this could be a serious matchup.
Yeah, you got to come over on Saturdays.
Johnny was unbeaten to the point where he put a 58 bounty on himself.
Okay.
I believe that was taken.
I can turn up for that.
We might have to up the ante.
There we go. I'll up it. 108 if you could knock me out.
Oh.
But yeah, we'll have some discussions. I'll poke the other members of the team. We'll get something sorted out on that one for sure.
Very cool. I feel like every time we get on a call with another member of something, we end up challenging them.
I mean, we're all gamers, right? That's what gamers do. We have a laugh, we have a chat, and then we have to do some appendage swinging as well.
Yeah, last one was we were on with Patrick from Endmaker, and that ended up in a StarCraft challenge.
Ah.
But now, if we can pull it off, is going to take place at CNFTCon. We've got to work out the logistics, but he challenged us because he is an avid StarCraft player, which is an RTS for those that don't know, real-time strategy like Age of Empires. He has challenged 4. He wants this to be a 4v1 competition.
Oh, yeah, he's somebody with like 300 actions a minute then.
Yeah.
He's probably going to quite comfortably whoop us, but it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. Don't count me out just yet. I've played a lot of RTSs. I spent a lot of time on Age of Empires Online. StarCraft isn't my strong suit, but I know my way around the board.
Yeah. I mean, I think we'll make sure there's a live stream for sure, because even if we don't report it or anything like that, I think I'm going to be watching this.
Oh well, if you're going to be at CNFTCon, you'll be able to see it.
I
live
get asked that so
action.
much, and it's just too far for us to come over this year. We've all got so much going on. I'm actually going to be moving to the States next year, so it's a lot more likely I'll be able to attend next year. But this year is not possible.
Yeah, well, we'll see if we can work out the logistics for the live stream so that you can still participate.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. But yeah, we are definitely considerably over the 2-hour mark now. I'm just looking through some of the old videos to see. I think the Ape Society was the longest one that I had until now.
They're
good
trying
guys.
to find it.
That's a good community. I like hanging out with those guys, the Ape Society. I don't own any of them, but they're still a good community.
So yeah, the Ape Society was 1 hour 58, so not quite as long as I thought. Aidenauts 1 hour 52, another absolutely great project, by the way. Let's see. So I know there's some other long ones around somewhere. 1 hour 48. So I don't. You might be the first project to break 2 hours at this point.
That's what I like to hear.
I feel like we need to pop a champagne bottle or something. Can we do that in Discord?
I mean, I do have one video uploaded longer, but that was a very different format and was kind of more of an open discussion on how to do your own research. That was approaching 3 hours. But yeah, you're the first project to break the 2 hour mark. So
Hey.
So yeah, and again, massive props for everyone that's still with us. Like still
great
with us, like well over 2 hours later at this point.
Yeah, we appreciate all of you for
Thank you,
sticking
everybody.
around.
And the people right now are in here just listening.
CMT Tool is going to be at the CMT Con.
No, we're not able to make it this year. I'm hoping I can spank Brad for some expenses to go next year because I'll actually be in the country then, which will make it considerably easier. But yeah, it's my goal to make it there for next year. And yeah, I'm sure there'll be wherever I will be, there will be beers flowing.
Well, in wrapping up, I would just like to say, ToolSin, that I do really appreciate CNFT tools. I use your platform every day, literally every day, for various reasons. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that little shout out in as closing up. Thank you for the work that you do and your team. You guys are all really awesome and making a good product.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we do our best. The guys are very hard at work right now, working on the V3 of the site, which it will have a few improvements. But the main part of the V3 site is going to make it a lot faster for us to be able to roll out all the new features that we have planned. So yeah, there's a lot of good news coming in the future as well that will make everybody's lips salivate a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think on that note, again, thank you to everyone that's turned up and tuned in, whether it's on Discord or on YouTube afterwards. Thank you very much to you guys from Unbounded Earth. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I'm going to regret it when I get up for work in about 6 hours' time. But yeah.
Thanks for having us. It's been really fun.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Again, yeah. Yeah, so I hope everyone has a great day, evening, morning, night, or wherever it is happens to be. Stay hydrated and have a good one, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Cheers.
Thanks again, ToolSin.
Cheerio.
GG.
So yeah, just trying to find that nice little video that I was watching earlier for you guys, just to close out with some visuals with the YouTube, a little bit of a special. Obviously now that I actually need it, I can't find it because that's the way these things run. Was it on YouTube? On no. Was it there? I apologise for the slightly awkward end here. Fortunately, trying to find a particular video is not working for me. Here we go.
Get ready to equip some new gear, Unbounded Earthlings. The exclusive Greco-Roman weapons collection is coming soon. To thank our loyal Unbounded Earthlings, we are kicking things off with 3 days of special pricing. For the first 3 mint days, Unbounded Earthlings will be able to equip themselves with a piece of the Greco-Roman weapon collection for only 15 ADA. The Alpha Access tablet provides holders with amazing perks and discounts, and this mint is no exception. All Alpha Access tablet holders will be able to arm themselves on the first 3 mint days for the special price of 10 ADA. Magic, melee, or ranged. Mint your weapon of choice, or try for all 3. For the most up-to-date news and information, and to learn more about the Alpha Access tablet, follow us on Discord and Twitter.